Hi, I'm Savannah.
And I'm Melly.
And we're so glad you are with us today. We're learning that we are God's masterpiece.
What's a masterpiece?
A masterpiece is the best piece of art that an artist creates. It's their favorite thing.
And we're God's masterpiece?
Yep.
Oh, wow. How do you know that, Savannah?
Well, because God tells us this in the Bible.
Where?
In Ephesians 2:10, God tells us that we are His masterpiece.
Wow. What else does it say?
Well, let's find out right now by singing our Bible verse song.
Oh, yay! Let's do that.
So kids, stand up with us and let's sing Ephesians 2:10.
For we are God's masterpiece. He has created us anew in Christ Jesus, yeah. So we can do the good things He planned for us long ago. Ephesians 2:10. Ephesians 2:10. For we are God's masterpiece. He has created us anew in Christ Jesus, yeah. So we can do the good things He planned for us long ago. Ephesians 2:10. Ephesians 2:10. For we are God's masterpiece. He has created us anew in Christ Jesus, yeah. So we can do the good things He planned for us long ago. Ephesians 2:10. Ephesians 2:10.
Great singing and dancing. You can all sit down.
Savannah, that was a great verse. It said something about how God has a plan for me. A good plan.
That's right. God has a great plan for you and for all of you kids.
But how can God have so many plans? That's a lot of things for Him to remember.
Well, God is amazing. He has made lots of plans for lots of people for a long time. We see His plans all over the stories in the Bible.
Oh, Savannah, will you show me a Bible story right now? I want to see God's good plans.
Sure, let's watch a story from the Bible and see what we can learn about how we are God's masterpiece.
Everyone, make sure your thinking caps are on.
And your listening ears.
Let's watch our story.
God's masterpiece. Moses. This is Moses.
Heyo.
Moses was an Israelite boy born in Egypt in a time when Israelite boys were not supposed to live.
Wait, huh?
The Israelites were slaves to the Egyptians. But God had a special plan for Moses,
Oh, eh?
and he spent his childhood in the palace of the Pharaoh. You see, when Moses grew up, he made a big mistake.
Uh-oh.
Pharaoh found out what Moses had done, and he tried to have Moses killed.
Ah!
So Moses ran away from Egypt. He stopped in the land of Midian, and 7 sisters came to the well to give water to their father's flock. Some shepherds came to drive them away.
Hey, you.
But Moses stood up for the women.
Hey.
Now these sisters were the daughters of the Midianite priest named Jethro. When Jethro heard what Moses did for his daughters, he sent for Moses. So Moses came to live among the Midianites, and he married Zipporah, one of Jethro's daughters.
Huh?
Meanwhile, back in Egypt, the old Pharaoh died, but he was replaced by a new Pharaoh who continued to treat the Israelites poorly.
Oh, man.
The Israelites cried out to God because of the terrible things that the Pharaoh made them do. God heard these people and knew it was time to act. One day, Moses was tending Jethro's flock when an angel of the Lord appeared to Moses through a burning bush that would not burn up.
Whoa.
Moses stopped to look at the bush, and he heard the voice of God say, "Moses, Moses."
Hello?
God then told Moses how sad he was because of the suffering of his people. He told Moses that he wanted to do something about it, and he wanted Moses to be the one to do it.
Oh, man.
But Moses did not think he was the right person to go. God said, "I will be with you."
Morning.
But Moses said that he wouldn't know the right thing to say to the people. So God said to tell the people that God himself had sent him, and promised Moses that his plan would be fulfilled through Moses. But Moses still said to God that he did not think the people would believe him. So God said, "What is that in your hand?"
Oh, okay.
Moses said, "A staff." God told Moses to throw it on the ground.
Wow, okay.
Then God told Moses to catch it. God showed Moses another sign.
Huh?
Phew. And told him to show these signs to the people if they did not believe what he said. Moses still didn't think he would have the right words to say. But God said that he himself was the one who made a man's mouth and gave him the ability to speak. So there was no need to worry. Yet even after all this, Moses said, "God, please send someone else." Then God got mad at Moses, and said that he would send Moses' brother Aaron to speak for Moses. So Moses went back to his father-in-law and told him that he needed to go back to Egypt. Moses and his family started their journey back to Egypt, and Moses carried the staff of God in his hand, for this staff would be the tool God would use to demonstrate his awesome power to the Israelites and to the Egyptians.
That was such a good story. God had a great plan for that person.
Yes, he did.
But Savannah, what am I supposed to learn from that story?
There's so much to learn from that story, but I think we should see what Pastor Steve has to say about it.
Oh, that's a great idea. He's super smart.
He is, so make sure you still have your thinking caps on.
And your listening ears.
And let's join Pastor Steve for Get It, Got It, Good.
This is Get It, Got It, Good with Pastor Steve. Get it?
Got it!
Good.
Hi guys, I'm Pastor Steve.
And I'm Hector.
And this is Get It,
Got it.
Good. But today we saw the story of Moses and all the amazing things that God did through him. We learned today that Moses was equipped by God.
What? Wait a minute. What?
Equipped.
Well, I don't know all those fancy pastor words, Pastor Steve.
Well, that's all right, Hector. To be equipped simply means that you have everything you need to do what God has asked you to do.
So if God asked me to make a table, that would mean I'd have wood and nails and a hammer?
Exactly. And the great thing is that God gives us what we need to do the things that he has planned for us.
And how do you know that?
Well, the story of Moses, for one. God wanted Moses to lead the Israelites out of Egypt.
That's a pretty big job.
Oh, it sure was. And Moses felt like he couldn't do it. He couldn't speak very well, and he was afraid. He even asked God to send someone else to save the Israelites.
But God didn't do that.
Nope. Instead, God gave Moses exactly what he needed to do what God had asked. And he will do the same thing for us.
Well, how do you know that?
Well, because this is a promise that he gives us in his word. You see, our Bible verse in Ephesians 2:10 says that God has created us to do the things that he planned for us. That means that God has made us able and equipped to do the things that he planned for us.
So like, if I made a chair, people would be able to sit on it.
Yep, and the same is true for you guys. You can be sure that God has made you just right to do the things that he will ask you to do. Because you are God's masterpiece, you know that you are equipped. Now, Hector, it sounds like you get it.
Well, of course I got it.
Well, good. Guys, we love you, and we'll see you next time.
I think I got it now. I am God's masterpiece, and God made me special for a special reason. Thanks, God!
Good, Melly. God did make you special. And kids, he made you special too. You are his masterpiece. God created you to do the good things that he has planned for you. God loves you all so much.
And so do we.
We'll see you next time.